We are now recording. You may begin your inquisition, Sam.
Let's do it. Well, hello, everybody. How are you today? I am Tim from Las Vegas.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest, sir.
He's from specifically the Northwest.
Pacific Northwest, specifically.
Oh, man.
Indeed.
Man, I'm tired, Sam. Sorry.
No, you're good, brother. You're good.
It's tired.
It is being tired means you're working hard. That's what that means.
Got a lot of stuff going on. So, let me see. First of all, again, I'm gonna go ahead and mention this every single time now because we got to get those badges are on sale for Dice Tower West. So go to www.dicetowerwest.com, grab those badges, and hopefully we will see you in March in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so go ahead and take care of that. But other than that, how you been, Sam?
Doing good. We're in a period of transition in the house because we just dropped off one of our oldest that was still in the house, at least at college.
Oh, nice.
Over the weekend. And it's one of those things where it's like you're happy for her because she's going on, she's doing what she wants to do. But this is Jessie's oldest. This is her firstborn. And it's like there's a lot of emotion that's there as well. She's doing pretty good about not breaking down. There have been times where she has been on the verge, and rightfully so. But she's doing really good, and we all have. I think part of the thing that's been helping is that, and it's not really necessarily a good help because you do have to face your stuff, but we've just been busy. Everything is happening right now. It's the first couple of weeks. It's the last couple of weeks rather before school begins up here in our area. Everything is happening right now, so it's been busy. But like I said, it's like I usually say, rather, it's all good busy. It's not the bad busy. So how has your game playing experiences been going? Have you been able to keep that up?
Yeah, man. Yeah, getting some more groups together. Tonight is actually going to be the first night. I think I mentioned before we're starting this repeaters thing. Group, and the first game we're playing is Galactic Cruise. And
you're going to play Galactic Cruise 10 times this year? At least.
Yeah, and we're probably going to do it in a row. Because
in a row?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I mean, I've talked about this other times with people. I don't know if we've done it on the show, but so it's very rare, at least for me in my playing experience, when all four people, right, are playing a game, when all four people are at the same level. Playing the game, because you're either teaching somebody or their first time. Oh, I haven't played it in 10 years, well, whatever. So when the whole, for me, I think this is going to be so rewarding because if we're doing this, 10 times in a row, a game like Galactic Cruise or any game, right? By the fourth or fifth game, then you're all at the same level. There's not a lot of mistakes.
I get you.
You don't make personal mistakes or whatever.
Or you're all making the same mistakes.
Right. We're not all making mistakes. Yeah. You don't have to kind of like, watch other people to sort of baby them or help them along. You can really do your own game. And it gives you the chance to really flush out games where you can play the expansions, you can play the modules, you can just really dive deep and just get everything out of a game. So I'm really looking forward, especially to those 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th times of the play, because I don't be really into it. And to me, it'll be just such a relaxing night of gaming.
Okay. So when you mentioned it the last time, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I do remember you mentioning this repeaters group. I didn't know, are you going to be playing each game? Like you're going to play this first game 10 times and then the next game, you're going to play that 10 times, or are you going to like mix it up a little bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to have other like little games like for the fillers or the second game for the evening. But yeah, that's the whole idea, is to just, play a game 10 times in a row, pick another game 10 times in a row, to really just, flush out games and just, because again, I play a lot of games, different groups, but, you'll play a game. Oh, geez, I haven't played this game in about 2 years. Oh, I haven't played. And it's just every game, like you make mistakes and it's just, I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Substandard. I get you. I understand what you're talking about. I kind of feel that way. We've just played, and this isn't one of the games I want to talk about today, so don't count it. But we've played Nemesis Retaliation like 3 times in the last 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and that has really kind of fostered that sense of not accomplishment. I don't know, but just I don't know. Accomplishment is the only word that's coming to it. Of when you play, you don't have to spend time refiguring out how to play the game.
Yep. Yep.
It's just that you know how to play the game. You sit down and you play it. It's been a little bit different because 2 of those 3 plays, for me at least, has been on a live stream, and so we always do at least a top level teach of the game so that everybody that's watching, if they haven't seen the game played before, they know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
But even this last time, JT spilled his coffee right before we were gonna start, and so I just told him to go ahead and teach the game. I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to go make you another coffee, that kind of stuff. So he kind of did it on his own, and I wasn't there for it. When I came back, boom, we just started playing, and I really do enjoy that. So I get the draw of that situation, of that repeater situation, and I've been playing Heat for goodness. I've gone through. Today's going to be the last day that we do, and I've done the championship series for 61, 62, and 63, and that is 10 games. So I've played Heat 10 games over the last 2.5 months,
Mhm.
and because I do it on my solo mode days, and it has that feeling of we've called it comfort
Yeah.
games,
Yep. Absolutely.
and it has that feeling of like it just this is what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, because think about it, Sam. Like, if you know your game day is coming up or game night or whatever,
Yep.
the whole once you wake up, you go to work or whatever you have to do during the day, blah 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 blah. You don't have to think of the game, right? Like you're
Right.
saying about comfort, because
Yep.
you just know when you get there, you sit down, like you just know it. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
here's an old friend. Everybody at the table knows that we're just gonna get into it.
Yeah.
So
What have you been playing recently then?
so I've been playing a lot of games I love and play. Man, you might have to look this up for me. I've been trying. I should have been more prepared.
You're
It's a
good.
brand new. It's a brand new Kramer and Kiesling game. My friends picked up. They got at Gen Con, brought back with them. It's a small card game. I think it's called Up and Down or Elevator or something like that. But that was the concept. Just and do you have any luck looking it up?
I'm
Kramer
looking at
Kiesling?
it. Just keep going. Keep
Okay.
talking.
Yes. And the thing that just fascinates me, like, there's certain little aspects sometimes in gaming that just fascinate me. And one of the things that fascinates me, which Reiner Knizia is sort of the king of, is coming up with a game with just colors and numbers. Period. End of
Yeah.
story. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
That's what this game is. Colors and numbers. But yeah, so the
Um,
general concept is you have a circle of cards and you play a card to the circle and you have to take the number on either side. So there's like 6 cards in the middle. So if one
yeah.
side had 50 and the other side had like 74, if you play a
Yeah.
63, you got to take either a 50 or 74. Then you got to make piles in front of you, either going up or down like an elevator. The
Yeah.
cards, the 3 piles of matching colors. The more colors you get, then it's a multiplier. But it was just very light, very simple, very good. And you know how we did the backpack thing at Dice Tower West? I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be replacing one of those 10 that I picked, because this game was really, really good. So I apologize for not having the title or being better prepared, but it's a Kramer Kiesling game. I think it's called Elevator Up and Down or something like that. Card game, just colors and numbers, but it's fantastic.
All right. Well, the information will be on the screen. I have not been successful. First game that I want to talk about is something we just played yesterday on a live stream, and it is a new iteration of the Horrified series, and that is Horrified Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah.
I'm one of those that just kind of, when I know that I like a game and when I know that my family likes a game, I don't even look into it when there's a new version. I just say, okay, I'm going to go buy it. because it's one of those things where I know it's going to be at the very least okay, even if we don't end up liking it. Like, I don't think I'll ever, if we have that thought of, I don't think I'll ever play this version of Horrified again. I know I can give it away because it's
Mhm.
new and people will enjoy it and that kind of thing. So we played our first play of it live, and we kind of just dove right into it because we've played Horrified so many different times. Even the small minor differences that each iteration brings with it, they're easy to learn on the fly. And of course, I read the rule book before time as well. But um, I don't know how I feel about this one yet. Um, but I will say that I feel like Ravensburger is, with this particular line, they're it's starting to head southward as
Oh,
far
really?
as the component quality at the very least. The component quality was just, I wouldn't say it's abysmal, but some of the components were very not good. For example, the Beholder comes with a bunch of hit markers, and they're just basically little black cardboard X's. And they are to mark when you attack the Beholder, you get to hit a specific tentacle that's shooting different rays at you. And so once you have 10 hits on him, then you can actually defeat the Beholder by hitting its main center eye. And those little X's are super chintzy.
Mhm.
I think I almost destroyed one or two of them just punching them out of the punch board.
Oh, wow.
Almost. I didn't because I realized what was happening as I was trying to punch it out, and I stopped and went a little bit slower and all that kind of stuff. If I take those and I compare them to other iterations of Horrified, it's like night and day. It's like um that's just the best way to say it. There's no comparison to be made with the component quality of this one and the component quality. Just talking about cardboard components. I'm not talking about miniatures. I'm not
Right.
expecting a lot out of a game that's mass market that has miniatures in it. So you almost get a free pass with the miniatures as long as they're not horrible.
Right.
But the cardboard components have really degraded over the last couple of iterations of Horrified, and the rule book also wasn't that great. It wasn't horrible like the Greek one was. The Greek one was really bad. A lot of people were up in arms about that one. They kind of fixed it with World Monsters, and now this one, there's just a lot of holes in it. Like, to defeat the dragon, you have to move these things around on a map to get the orb, the dragon orb, through out of the vault. And I would have liked to have a uh, pictorial description
Mhm.
of what they said, because it's very nebulous. I, as I usually do, I erred on the side of not being very cautious, and I just took the words for what they said. They said that once you played a item of a certain color, you could move obstacles, plural, any number of spaces, also plural. So we played it that if I played a red piece, I can move all of the red pieces as many spaces as I wanted to. If I played a blue piece, I could move all of the blue pieces as many spaces as I wanted to, and so forth and so on. And I think that's right, but there's no way for me to be sure because there's no further description other than the way they worded it. So it's just one of those things. My like, for example, Jessie afterwards said that she really enjoys the series. She really enjoyed her time. She has no connection to Dungeons and Dragons whatsoever, hardly. So there was no real reason for her to enjoy it other than the fact that she enjoys Horrified. So if you enjoy Horrified already, I think you'll probably enjoy this. But I'm being nitpicky about the components because I've seen the decline and I don't like it, because it feels like at a certain point, it feels like the publisher's just starting to cash in
Right.
on the
Of
money.
course. Yeah.
And I get that it's a business; you got to make money. I understand all of that, but I just wish that there could be a standard that you don't dip below as
Yeah.
far as components are concerned. And I feel like they've dipped below it for the last couple of them at least. So
Right.
there was some good stuff though. I liked the way they laid out the board. There are parts of the board that are completely closed off. You can only get there by a certain secret passageway and then there are other spots that are teleportation circles that if you go to one teleportation circle, you can go to any of the other ones on the board. So they changed up how you move around the board a little bit, and I liked that a lot. And they changed up special abilities for the characters. You have to roll a d20, and whatever you roll determines what your special ability is. And they're all pretty good unless you roll a 1. That's always bad. And if you roll a 20, whenever you're rolling for a special ability, you get another perk card, which there's another way to get a perk card, which in other iterations, you've only had the one way of getting the citizens to where they want to go. So all in all, I think I like it, but I need to play it some more to see if that component quality issue really kind of wears on me. But it was a fun play, and we lost. But it was enjoyable at least.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't played any Horrified games, so maybe.
Yeah, they're not your fare. They're too light, probably, and they're cooperative.
Okay.
So
yes, I know that. True. Yes. Yeah. So the other game I'm going to talk about is again an oldie, like what, 5 years old maybe or whatever, but goodie, and Foundations of Rome, and it's again. There's so many games, right? It's just hard to get everything to the table, but it's just so enjoyable, and I just wish I would play that more because it's so good. I'm going to teach my wife the game. I think she would really enjoy that. That might be a game she might get into, and plus the toy factor. But one set I played, my friend, he had them all painted, and they were beautiful. And I'm gonna do that with my set too eventually. Hopefully, get those painted to make it a joke. But I played it. I played 2 times over the last week. Once with 2 players, once with 3 players, and even with that low player count, it's still a fantastic game. It can play 2, 3, 4, or 5. And they've got a couple of modules in there with the monuments. And a couple of other modules you can add in there. It's just good. It's very if you're unfamiliar with the game, it's very sort of acquire kind of a little bit, right? Because you have the same sort of grid with the numbers, and you pick up the cards and put down tokens and build. And it's just it's I like that sort of mechanic in a game where by building close to other people or sort of adjacent, you can it's a cooperative competitive component to the game, right? Because you have to watch where other people build certain types of buildings, because you can just jump in there and benefit off of their population or their economy or whatever, things like that. So it's kind of cool. And you gotta be careful of that, because you're like, oh, if I put that there, they could do this, and they could, so it's just really a really, really good game. And it's one of those games where the publisher went backwards with the second edition, right? Because the first one was just over the top, just excess over the top, beautiful, blinged out and everything. Then they came back to make a mass market or whatever kind of version of the same game. Usually, people come out with the base game, then do the deluxe. They went backwards.
Right. That's exactly what happened. It's like they were like, "Oh, you want plastic? We'll give you plastic."
Yeah.
Let them eat plastic. That's basically. But yeah, you're absolutely. It's funny to hear you say that. Described as a cooperative game. I've never looked at it, because it is definitely not cooperative.
No, it's definitely not.
I get that feeling that it engenders is that idea of, oh, well, if I can get a build, we'll both be able to get some positive points if we do that. But more often than not, I've found myself playing very non-cooperatively in that game. It's like, I need that. Don't you dare take it. Oh, you take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no,
That kind of thing.
yeah, 100%.
But
And I don't mean cooperative. Yeah, I meant
I get you.
cooperative in the sense where you can benefit off of other people.
Yes.
But you're right. It's not really cooperative.
It can be co-beneficial, but it's
There you
not
go. Yes.
cooperative. But
Co-beneficial.
no, I totally understood what you were saying. And that's why it kind of stuck out to me, because I was like, yeah, you are kind of cooperating, but you're going to stab somebody in the back at some point. Yeah, Foundations of Rome is a great game. It's one of those things where I'm trying to Ryan at Arcane Wonders sent me a couple of like standalone like just specific miniatures in those of the buildings, so that I can try to experiment on them to see about doing my own sun drop. It's not going to be a sun drop, but I'm going to be trying to do my own like weathering and shading for these buildings, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to find out the best way to do it. And because they're not painted yet, you can't just slap a wash on them. They're just, you can't slap a wash on to just bare plastic. It just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. It's made to work with a layer of paint already on. So, but I didn't want to just blast a piece of a coat of paint on everything and then hope it works out. I didn't want to do that, because it's a really nice game.
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah,
want to mess it up.
for sure.
So
For sure.
Ryan was very generous, and he sent me I think 4 or 5 building miniatures for me to kind of experiment on. So that's in the near future coming up. But it's a great game. Okay, so the next game that I'm going to talk about is a little card shedding ladder climbing game called Panda Spin.
Oh, yes.
Panda Spin is
Yes.
such a great game.
Yep.
We have played it on a number of different times. I just did my review of it on the Dice Tower yesterday. It went up yesterday. And my goodness, what a fun game that is.
Yep.
It feels like a trick taking game. And I haven't checked comments yet. I'm probably going to get yelled at a lot because I kept calling it a trick taking game. And it really isn't. It really isn't a trick taking game. It's a ladder climbing card shedding game.
Mhm.
But everybody plays cards out into what feels like a trick to me. And so I always called it a trick taking game. But you're playing combinations of cards and or values. Really you're playing combinations of values rather than cards. Now, most of the cards have a single value on them, but many of them, after they have been spun, that's where they get the word panda spin. Anyway, after they've been spun up to their blue side, they have multiple values on them. And so you're not always just playing a combination of cards, you're playing a combination of values. And each suit has 2, which is a Chinese 2. It's not a regular like Greco-Roman 2, or I don't know what you call it. Anyway, it's not a regular 2. It's a Chinese 2, and it goes all the way from 3 up to the Chinese 2. The Chinese 2 is the highest card in each suit, and all of the cards have a white side and a blue side. The blue side is at the bottom to start with, and all of your cards in your hand start on the white half up. And when you're playing cards out of your hand, you have to do a combination, and you always have to play to stay in the trick. Again, you have to play a higher combination of values than the person played previous to you. So if you lead with 2 2s, I'm sorry, not that's a bad example because that's the highest card in the deck. If you start with 2 3s, then the next person has to play 2 values that are the same but higher than yours. So the next person could be 2 4s, or they could go all the way up to the highest card in the deck, 2 Chinese 2s. And you keep doing that until everybody passes. If you can't beat, you have to pass. And so you keep going until all but one person has passed, and that person wins the trick. All of the cards that they used go away. Everybody else has to take their cards back up into their hand. But when you do that, you can spend them from their white side to their blue side. So now you have to bring your cards back into your hand, but now they're more powerful and they do more things. And later on in the game, if you play a combination of cards and at least one of them is a blue card, has their blue side up, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, all of those cards go away. So again, it's like having blue cards in your hand is beneficial for you in a couple of ways because they give you more power, but they also allow you to get rid of your cards faster, which is the point of the game. Once somebody has used all of their cards out of their hand, they show out, and they will get a number of points equal to the person who has the most cards in their hands left, to a maximum of 7. And you keep playing like that. Once everybody has showed out except for one person, the round ends, and you check to see if somebody wins. If somebody has 15 or more points, then the game is over, and then whoever has the most points is the winner. If nobody has 15 points left, you just take all the cards, shuffle them back up, and you're good to go. It's such a fun game, but the artwork and the cards are so nice. They look so good. And I always say games that look good are just more fun to play. And that's exactly the case here. It's a fun game, but it's so much more fun for me, at least, because of that aesthetic quality that the cards have, the great artwork, the great design, everything that's on it. It's such a fun game. I missed the first Kickstarter. The copy that I have was a copy that a buddy of mine in England picked up for me at UKGE and sent it to me. And I've already backed their second Kickstarter for their for a base game and for their expansion that's coming out. So I'm going to give my copy away when my Kickstarter copy with the expansion comes in. But such a fun game. I can't. I gave it a. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. But it's so fun.
Yeah,
It's
Panda
really
Express is a really good game. I was very fortunate enough to play it before it was even published,
uh,
from with the publisher, and
mm,
Carl Chuddick, who's the designer.
yeah,
I just love like Innovations, one of my top games of all times. I
yeah.
love Red 7, which is
Mhm.
another unique card game of his.
Yep.
Impulse is another unique Carl Chuddick game.
Mhm.
So when I first heard it was a Carl Chuddick game, I was like, "Oh, take it on." And then I played it. It was a trick taking shedding game. Oh, it's really really good. And it's funny the term, Sam, right? Because and again, it's just for nerds like us who really care about the trick taking or
Yeah,
shedding.
yeah.
But yeah, because like Hearts is like a trick avoidance game, but it's
Yep.
technically a trick taking game, right? So you can get
Yeah,
into all the nitty gritty. It's nice to have
yep,
conversations like that with a bunch of nerds,
yeah.
but at the end
It
of the day,
is.
it doesn't matter, right? There's just a trick taking game.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, Panda Spin is a really really good game.
yeah. Moving on, we're gonna talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. We just had a new board game store open up in our town, and they're friends of mine, of ours rather, my wife and I both, and they're also members of our church. So there's already a connection there. They were coming to our gaming events before they opened their store and all of that kind of stuff. So there's a relationship already there. But my wife and I were actually also thinking about opening a store at one point. Um, and that's actually one of the reasons why we started hosting events in our community, was so that we could kind of build ahead of steam to kind of establish a community before we opened our store, so that we could then just kind of like translate that community over to our store. That was kind of the idea there. But we just didn't have the capital. We just couldn't swing it. It was just it was an insurmountable hurdle, basically, the lack of funds. So we and then once we found out that this other couple was going to be opening a store, and they were already kind of far down that path, we decided, yeah, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and throw our weight behind that. Not that we have a whole lot of weight to throw around, it's just that we've already been building this community, so we want to help them with that community and all of that kind of stuff. And so we started doing that, and they have a beautiful store, great furniture, very welcoming atmosphere, bright, warm, homey. It even feels that way. A lot of wood tones, a lot of darker greens and that type of stuff. Just a very inviting, comfortable atmosphere. But they have instituted a pay to play thing for their store, and I've been talking to it. I haven't talked to them about it yet because it's their business, and while I feel like I would have the opportunity and we could have the discussion, I just haven't had it yet. But I just feel like it's almost like they're shooting themselves in the foot. And I just wanted, you having owned a store, and I've talked to a lot of other store owners, so I wanted to have a conversation about what you think about, and of course, conversely, what the audience thinks about having a pay to play as a point of revenue for the store.
I'm all for it, 100%. I mean, that was my business model when I opened my board game cafe
Hmm.
for people to come in and play, because that was what I considered myself an entertainment venue, and that's what you were coming in to pay for.
Right.
For the entertainment, people to
Right.
teach you games, show you games, get you started, have the library of games, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
However, even if, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, even if you are not sort of an entertainment venue first, say you're a game store and you
Hmm.
have play space, yes, still, um, I fully believe store owners should charge to
Hmm.
help subsidize their place, to give you a place for recommendations and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to put a caveat before we continue this conversation
Yeah.
any further, because there was a point, I stopped arguing with people. I'm like, listen, I don't want to have this conversation with you about why you should have to pay to come in. Just don't come. Just, people have choices. So if you
Yeah.
don't agree with it, just don't go. So I just
Yeah.
want to put that out there, right? Like, you
Sure.
have a choice. Like, so whether somebody does or doesn't, you agree, who cares? Just don't go. That's
Right.
what you can do if you don't agree with it.
Sure.
But because nowadays, especially, I saw it all the time. People come into the store to buy a game. What are they doing? Shopping on their phone with Amazon. And then they
Mm.
come up to the counter. Hey, do you price match? And then I got to the point again where after so many years, I just was like, okay, so what you're asking me, can I compete with Jeff Bezos? No, the answer is no.
No.
I
Yeah.
cannot.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of like, what other support is the store getting? Right. Because people say, oh, no, and I used to do that too. When I used to go play at local game stores that didn't charge, I would
Mhm.
make it a point at least once a month. If I went there, twice a month or 2 or 3 times a month to play, once a month, I would buy a game.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that one game I buy, say it's a $40 game, and they make 20 bucks, 50, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's not a
Yeah.
whole lot of money. The support of the store comes in with you like getting a membership or pay to play. That way they
Mhm.
can provide it. And Sam, you started off describing the venue that you go to, beautiful, warm,
Yeah.
welcoming. Well, all that stuff has value. If
Yeah.
you want to take part of that, if you want to
Mhm.
participate in that, if you want to sort of pay these people back for what they're outputting, then
Mhm.
yes, you should be happy to support them and give them money. Because, I know you do a lot of things, this and that. And I used to be in so many game groups here at bars, at restaurants, and all that kind of stuff. And the thing about it and the reason you have to move is because it comes to a point where the restaurant's like, wow, okay, these people are taking up all these tables. They're here for 4 or 5 hours, and we're not getting the turn. They're taking up space, and usually end up having to move a lot of the times,
Yes.
right? But a place like me at when I had my place, I was like, but I want you here. I want you here for 4 or 5 hours. That
Yeah.
is my business. You're gonna be
Right.
welcome. You're never gonna get a nasty look, whether you're after your fifth or sixth hour there, because listen, you paid me money to be there
Yeah.
for that
Right.
opportunity. So you're gonna have a smile from me at hour 6 because that's what I want you there for. That's
Yeah.
another thing you're paying for. So I am
Mhm.
100% for it. And again, like I said, I just want to put the one thing on the whole conversation. If you don't like it, you don't agree with it, don't go. But I don't think you should have the conversation with the people. You just shouldn't go if you don't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That so.
Yeah. No, I get that, and it's not that I don't want to go to their store. Um, here's the thing. We had people, and again, I totally get where you're coming from. Let me just answer some of the things that you said. The people who come in on their phones on Amazon and they're asking you to price match, those people are jerks. Period. End of discussion. Hard stop. I know they're just trying to save a buck. I know they're just trying to be, frugal, whatever you want to say. But don't come into a brick and mortar store that has an overhead that cannot be matched by online sales. You cannot match online prices in a brick and mortar store and still survive
Right.
unless you have something else going on in your store that is helping make up for some of that. Cool Stuff Incorporated, they were one of those kinds of entities where were they an online store or were they a brick and mortar? And nobody, they were both, absolutely. And it wasn't just even board
No,
games
no,
either.
they
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 had
were they were an online store. I just want to make that clear,
truth.
Sam.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They were an online store, yes, but they also had, I think, 3 or 4 brick and mortar stores in
Right,
Florida.
right. But you've been to a Cool Stuff physical location, right?
Yes,
Okay, so
many of them.
right. So you know as well as I do, because I've been in there too. They weren't technically a brick and mortar store, which I mean they were, but you
Yeah.
go in there, they only had a shelf of maybe 100 games, and then they had 5 computers. And then every Tuesday or Friday, they would have the deliveries for you to come and pick up the game. So they were still an online store that had a pickup place. That's the way I would say it.
Yes, but they were definitely brick and mortar stores though, because they had their own events. Each
Right,
store was
right.
autonomous from
Yes.
the others. They like I said, they had their foot on both sides of the fence,
Uh-huh.
firmly planted. They were definitely a brick and mortar store. They were locally operated, not locally owned, but they were definitely brick and mortar stores that benefited from also having that big online entity that they could do part of their sales with. So
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
that's something else.
right.
Um, my thing is that, and I've talked to other owners, and it's interesting because um, let me ask you this: how, and again, this was a while ago, but how much did you charge for your pay and play for your store?
Daily. Well, I started at $5, then I went up to 7, then I ended up at 10 before I sold it for daily. And then my memberships were they went up and then came down, but they ended up being $25 for a single person a month.
There's definitely two camps that's here. I've talked to a lot of different store owners, and one camp is definitely the one that you're in, where you're offering a value to your customers, and in order for them to take part of that value, you have to there's nothing wrong with, and I would agree, it's your choice. There's nothing wrong with asking them to pay for that value. I've talked to other store owners that say you have to offer them something of value to gain their loyalty. And that something of value that you offer should be free. And it should be something that you can afford to not charge them for. And some of the store owners that I've talked to have said, and that value to them is a place to come play. So you offer them your store as a place to come play your games in a comfortable atmosphere that is apart from the shopping experience, because you don't want to be sitting at a table and people are shopping, bumping into you and all of that other kind of stuff. But that is the value that you offer your customers as a store, and that builds loyalty so that if they do want to purchase a game, you are the first person that they think about, not Amazon, not
Right.
the place down the road that charges you $5 to come in and play. um, and so there's that camp as well. Like, you're offering a value that they don't have to play for, that they don't have to pay for, rather, that builds their loyalty to your store.
Okay, but let
So what
me
do you think about that?
so yeah, so there's a couple of things, again, this is a much longer conversation to have, and
Yeah.
you're throwing out a couple of different things. And first of all, it's not one to one, right? And what I mean by that is not every customer that comes to play is purchasing something from your store, right? It's
Right.
never one to one. So
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with that argument, because you're assuming that every single person who's coming into play is also spending money in your store, which just isn't true, right? Um,
Well,
um, And
Okay, go
okay,
ahead.
so that's what
Keep
it's
going.
never one-to-one, right? 'Cause,
Sure.
there are people who just never buy games, right? That's the reason they're coming, at least because I had the library. That's what I was supporting to right? You don't have to spend money on games. It's here. You could whatever. That's one of the things you're paying
Mhm,
for.
mhm, mhm.
All right. However, in a card store, if you're more of a TCG store, right? There, I would sort of agree with that argument because those people are constantly right. They got the way the cycles run every 3 months, all the TCGs, blah 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 blah. There, I could see where yes, you offer them the play space because they are constantly buying cards from you for their ever growing, ever changing hobby, which is playing cards.
Mm.
So that is a little bit different than I was strictly board games. I didn't even sell CCGs at all.
Really?
So those are two different
Wow.
kind of avenues, right? So those are two different things.
Mhm.
And then the last thing I would throw at you, which again, when you said how people come in and price shape, you're a jerk. My sort of thing is the same thing about taking advantage of their space and not giving them something, you're a jerk. So if you have your game nights, you say at restaurants, right?
Mhm.
If you go
I
in
would
there, so if you have
I would
10,
never do
20
that.
people go in there and they don't buy a drink or don't spend food, you're a jerk.
I
But
wouldn't do that.
okay,
I would
okay,
never have yeah, go ahead. Go
so
ahead, go ahead.
my point is, what's the difference? If you go to a restaurant and buy a meal to support that restaurant for giving you the opportunity to play in there, what is the difference than you going into a game store and paying them to play in there? It's the same thing. You are
Well,
still spending money for the opportunity to take their space and play games. You're
sure.
doing the same thing. So it's that is equal. So if you're willing to do it at a restaurant, why are you even questioning doing it at a game store? I don't get it.
Well, I don't equate the two. I've never been to a board game event that was being held in a restaurant during their business hours. I have rented out a Steamers West, and my wife and I do this. We pay Steamers West an amount of money once a month to have our uh, game night there at that store while they are not in business, and that money is basically spent to first of all pay for the person that's running the store while we're there, and we also encourage the people if you come to our event, get something from the menu.
Yeah, but you said they're not
So
open. So wait, well, you can't have the same. You just said they're not open.
no, they are. It's not their regular business hours. That's why we pay them an amount of money so that they will open back up for us.
Right, but you're still paying them to play in their space.
Not during business hours.
But
Yes,
regardless whether it's during
absolutely.
business hours or not, you are paying to use their space.
Exactly.
So what's the
Exactly.
difference in a game store? You're still paying somebody to use their space. So my question would be, Sam, don't pay Steamers West, pay the game store. It would
I
be the same thing.
I actually have already. I have done that once. I just can't afford to do both
Uh-huh.
because I can't pay let's just say $300 a month to host two events. I can't do that. I can't afford
Right.
that. That's out of reach. But again, what I can do, that's not really it. The focal issue for me is um, why. And again, this is the part of the conversation that you don't want to have, but it's part of the conversation. So why should I come to your store and pay you money to play the games that I'm probably going to be bringing? Why can't I just stay at home where it's more comfortable? I don't have to pay for snacks. I
But
don't have to
Sam,
do this. I
again,
don't have to do that.
but again,
I,
because what I don't understand.
why should I my thing is that it feels like, and again, I know these people and I know that's not what they're feeling, but to a consumer that doesn't know the owner, it feels like I deserve to have you pay for my store because I I put it here for you. It's like the if you build it, they will come mentality, which is not true. I have no reason to be loyal to a board game store just because they popped up in in my community.
No, of course
There
not.
has to be some other draw.
Right, but still, I still don't quite understand. You're going to have to explain this to me. I still don't quite understand. You are already paying to use space to play games now. So I don't understand why you're questioning whether uh, to pay to play in venue A, which is a restaurant, or to pay to play in venue B, which is a game store.
Well,
Like,
first of all,
I don't
in a
understand.
restaurant,
You're still
there's no
paying to
reason
play.
there's no reason for me to go to a restaurant to play a game.
Well,
There's
Steamers
none.
West. What is Steamers West? What is it?
It's a coffee shop.
Okay, so you're paying a coffee shop. I'm sorry, I won't use the term restaurant.
Yeah,
You are paying to play in a coffee shop space.
correct. Because it's not. It is in no way related to gaming
But what does that
whatsoever.
have to do? You are paying money to play games.
True, but it's a specific event, and if I wanted to, I could go there during business hours, not pay them a dime except for the drink that I buy, and use their tables. I could absolutely do that. I don't have to pay them money to go into their store. Now, am I being a jerk if I do that? Yes, you are. But I don't have to. If I go into this board game store and I want to sit down at one of their tables and play my game, I have to pay them money. That doesn't foster a sense of community, in my opinion. That
No,
doesn't
okay,
foster a sense of community.
but
It
again,
fosters a sense of business, not
okay,
community.
you're right. Whatever. But again, what I don't. But like I said, the choice is you just don't have to do it. You don't have to go. I just don't understand why you think you're entitled or it should be free to go sit in a space and play, whether it's your game. You're sitting in their chair, you're sitting at
It,
their table, you're taking up their space. You should have to pay for that, right?
I'm not coming at this from the consumer's perspective. I'm coming at it from a game owner's perspective, a store owner's perspective.
Oh,
So
and I'm
it's
and I
not
right.
entitlement.
I'm
It's not
coming to you.
entitlement.
Right. And I'm talking to you as a store owner who did that.
I understand, but you're saying that I have this sense of entitlement. I don't. I don't have a sense of entitlement. I just I'm wondering, for example, if I were the store owner, um, I would offer my store space freely and try to foster that sense of community, that sense of loyalty, so that when they do want to spend money, I'm the first person that they think about.
Yeah, go
Because
ahead and keep living those dreams and believing that's the case. But they're gonna
I
go on.
I've talked to many store owners, that is their philosophy, and they are doing very well in the industry. I'm just saying there's not always one specific answer here.
Right, but also you're right. You're right. There's not one specific answer, but there is one specific answer, in my opinion. Like I said, the one thing you have to have with this conversation, there's one specific answer. If you don't want to pay, don't go. That's the answer. You don't
Hmm.
have to go and play. I mean, if I, it's just like, hey, I don't eat sushi, so I don't go to a sushi restaurant. I don't feel it's right to have to pay my game in your space. I shouldn't go. But
But
why?
what if 90% of the community feels that way? You
Then
don't
they're
have
going to
any
go out of
customers.
business. But
You
that's
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
but okay,
There,
but
you're,
oh,
you
no,
have to offer the community some value that they don't have to pay for. You have
right.
to do that
Okay,
to get their loyalty, to get them to want to come back to your store.
why? But
Don't you?
what about a store that just sells games? What if they have no play space? What loyalty are you? What they're just buying. You're just a store to sell games. So I don't. Again, it's an added benefit that you can take advantage of if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But what if you're just a game store, Stam? You just sell games. What loyalty are you building there? I mean,
Well,
they're going to buy anyway. So, right?
I think there are in today's society. I think there are fewer of those kinds of places than there are game stores that offer a value for nothing, as opposed to game stores that are just offering you the products. Because if you're just offering me the product and I don't have a relationship with you, I I have I have especially up here, man, up here it's so hard for local stores for brick and mortars to, because of all of the extra overhead that they have. Sometimes you're paying an extra $20 for a game. 20 bucks is more than just shipping at this point, dude. That's a lot of extra money that you're asking people to play. And then on top of that, you're saying if you want me to play, I have to pay you another $10? to play in your store.
Right, but also again, it's just one of those kind of things. Yeah, because remember, I have to go soon.
I know.
I'm late already. But another thing I just want to add, because we have to close up, is it also depends on, again, this is why this is a long conversation, and
we'll have it.
We'll
continue it. This is part 1. We'll do part 2 next time.
Right, and I'm talking from personal experience, right? Because I did years of research, and then I opened, and one of my big things was fostering the environment. Now, people are going to be mad at me. They're not going to like me for what I'm about to say, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We can start this with part 2. Okay.
Okay.
I wanted my place to be warm and welcoming for all types of people, right? Sure. Men, women, young, old, different ethnicities, religions, whatever. Just I wanted my thing to be everybody.
Yes.
Again, people aren't going to like what I'm going to say, but it is what it is. CCG games, trading card games, are a certain majority type of demographic, right? It just is what it is. It's the whole type of people they play, aggressive, you're always blah, 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 a certain, it's sort of male dominated, certain age group. It's very specific, right? So again, with this conversation, you have to separate the two. I never did CCGs because the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, in my experience, is once you go down that rabbit hole, take up CCGs, you're just done, because that's where money comes in. That's that's bread and butter. Yep. And if you're just doing CCGs, yes, they're going to support it. Give them free space because they're always going to be spending money in your store. But I wanted my place to be a warm, welcoming, cross-diverse, men, women, ages, all that kind of stuff, just board games. And for that reason, I didn't have that constant income, blah, blah, blah. Mine was an entertainment venue first. That was mine first. So it's just like miniature golf. It's just like, that's what I consider my place. Like, hey, you go out for a night of miniature golf, you come to my place for a night of board games. I was an entertainment venue, and that's what you were paying for. So again, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
There's different philosophies, and I get it. And we'll talk more about it in the next one, because we've only scratched the surface, frankly. But it is just something that's been in the back of my head for the last, week or so, week and a half. And so we'll talk more about this. I appreciate it, because I know you have a wealth of experience there. And I've never run a store. I've been to a lot of stores, don't get me wrong. So I feel like I do have something to offer the conversation, and I've talked to a lot of other owners and kind of picked their brains about how they run their stores. So, we'll continue this part 2 coming up next week.
Sounds good. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Again, remember to like, subscribe, write your comments in the comments section.
Let us know.
And we'll definitely look at them, bring them up in the next conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Until next time, I'm Tim from Las Vegas. Take care, everybody.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest. See you on the flip side, folks.
Bye for now, guys.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.